Your parents are getting older and they still want their independence, but some things are getting harder for them. Stairs, driving, keeping up a big house. Maybe there have even been a few middle of the night calls that left you worried. Having peace of mind to know that they're cared for is priceless. You could get a sitter or put them in assisted living. Those are both expensive. And even if you could afford it, you'd still be driving back and forth, hoping they're getting the attention they deserve. You would still be left trusting strangers to care for your parents. But what if there was a better way? A way to keep them close, but not living in your home. A way that offers them comfort and dignity. It's called an ADU, Accessory Dwelling Unit. It's a small private home in your own backyard. In this video, I'm sharing 6 reasons building an ADU for your aging parent might be the smartest move that you make, plus tips to help you choose the right kind of ADU. My family did this for my grandfather whenever I was growing up, and now we are doing the same thing for my parents. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Erin, and I'm a real estate agent passionate about alternative housing because I understand what's going on in the real estate market. We simply need smaller options. I create content to help you learn more about ADUs, tiny homes, and maximizing smaller spaces through 2 different YouTube channels. I'll link the other channel in the description. So if you're looking to add a rental, downsize, or house a loved one, you came to the right place. So let's get started in today's topic. But first, what is an ADU? It stands for Accessory Dwelling Unit. It's a separate and independent living space that's smaller than the main house. If you want to learn more, I'll leave a link in the description and link it here. The first reason you should build an ADU for your parents, you can keep your family close without actually living together. It is perfectly fine to admit you don't want to live in the same house as your parents. There is no shame in that. An ADU gives you the best of both worlds. You get closeness and independence. Your parents are just steps away. So this means that you can have Sunday dinner together and everyone still gets to go back to their own home. But for you, you get peace of mind. The second reason you should build an ADU for your parents, it's a way to age in place with dignity. This is about more than housing. It's about how your loved ones live. Many aging parents, they're still very independent, they're capable, and they're active. They just need a little bit more support and to be nearby. They're nowhere near needing to be cared for 24/7, and they're definitely not ready for assisted living or a nursing home. They want to cook their own meals, they want to decorate how they want, and they just want to do what they want to do. An ADU lets your aging parents stay in a familiar, comfortable environment. There's no strict schedules, there's no strangers coming in and out, and no facility food. An ADU is independence with peace of mind. Your parents can age and live with dignity in a home that actually feels like theirs. The third reason, they're more affordable than assisted living. Let's just focus on the cost of putting your parent in an assisted living facility. It's about $4,000 to $8,000 a month. That's $48,000 to $96,000 a year, and that cost is just going to keep rising each year. Plus, you still can't just get up and walk over to them in a few steps. An ADU might cost you that same amount depending on where you live. A garage conversion is about $40,000 to $50,000, and then the average detached ADU could be $75,000 to $100,000. It's so hard to justify not doing it, honestly. It's really eye-opening to have those costs side by side. The fourth reason, you can share the cost. Families get really creative with the cost. Some can split the cost between siblings. Others might use the sale of their parents' home or even tap into some of their own equity. A lot of people pay for most or all of their ADU without any types of loans or anything. You might qualify for financing or grants, especially if the ADU will serve as a house for an elderly or disabled family member. It doesn't have to be a one-person burden. Plus, your parents might pitch in on utilities, plus watch the grandkids or the grandpets. The fifth reason, it becomes a long-term asset. An ADU isn't just for today, it's a long-term investment in your property and your family. After your parents no longer need it, that ADU could become a rental income stream, house another family member, be your own downsizing plan in the future. It's flexible, it's useful, and it adds real value to your property. The last point I want to make is you can design it for safety and accessibility. This is where an ADU really shines versus where your parents might be living now. You can build it around your parents' needs. They can have zero-step entry, wider doorways, a walk-in shower, slip-resistant floors, emergency pull cords, or smart home tech. So it's really just going to accommodate their needs now and for the future. I hope you're a little bit more confident in how an ADU can actually be a great solution for your parents. So let's talk about choosing the right ADU for them and your property. Not all ADUs are created equal, and the type you build should match your parents' needs, comfort, and mobility level. It also has to fit the property where it's going to be placed. Some people do not have space to put a separate structure, so they either have to add on to their house or convert their garage or similar space. The two most common ADUs for aging parents are going to be the conversion of a garage or maybe bonus space, or adding a detached tiny home ADU in the backyard. Before we get into the pros and cons of each of the types of ADUs, let's go through a list of 7 things I encourage you to think about to help you make a good decision on your ADU selection. First, what's the future use? Are you going to rent it out later? Are you going to use it for another family member? Detached units offer more flexibility if plans change down the road. What are the privacy needs? Do they want their own space with separation, or is closer contact okay? If it's going to be a rental in the future, you want to see how that's going to look too. Mobility, accessibility, is the garage level with the ground, or would they need stairs or ramps? A detached ADU can be designed with full accessibility from the start, but it's going to be a little bit further from the house, so having accessible paths to get to it is going to be important. The size and the comfort. Garage conversions, they're often smaller, and a lot of people do a studio setup, maybe a small 1-bedroom. The detached unit's going to give you a little more freedom with layout and square footage, even though there's still going to be a maximum that you can build. Things like noise, daily life. Is the shared walls or close quarters going to cause stress for either of the parties? Think about your timeline, your budget. Garage conversions, they're usually cheaper and quicker, not just because they're smaller, but because getting it approved for permits could be easier and less expensive because the structure's already there. A detached build, that's going to cost more, but it could add more long-term value in the future. So that's something to consider. What about yard and outdoor space? Do you even have enough yard to comfortably fit the unit and still have enough outdoor space for yourself? Some people are not willing to give up their backyard. I hope it was helpful in giving you a couple thinking points, but let's look at the pros and cons of that detached backyard ADU versus the garage conversion in case you still need help figuring it out. First, the backyard ADU. Some of the pros, you're going to have maximum privacy for both households. So that's going to be ideal if you want the space and you still want them to be nearby. It's going to feel like a true home with its own entrance, yard space, living areas. You've got flexible design. That's going to let you build specifically for your parents' needs. So accessibility, the layout, the finishes. The detached unit is going to be great for long-term value. It can be rented out later, used for a caregiver, or become part of your own downsizing plan. It's often easier to adapt for mobility and aging in place features from the start. Some of the cons, it's going to be more expensive to build. You're going to need its own foundation, roof, plumbing, utilities. It's also going to take up yard space, which may limit outdoor living or affect landscaping. Permitting and construction is going to take a little bit longer depending on your city and your lot. And it may require complex utility hookups if it's far from the main house. Now the garage conversion ADU, let's look at those pros. It's usually cheaper than building new because you're working with an existing structure. It's usually faster to permit and build in many areas, which is going to speed up your entire timeline. There's not going to be an impact on your outdoor space, so you're not losing yard space. You're going to keep your parents even closer, which could be useful if they need frequent support. The structure is going to be smaller, so you're going to have to buy less to fill it up. And you may not need separate utilities like the water and sewer, which is going to save you money. But some of the cons, you're going to have less privacy due to proximity. It's going to feel like an extension of your home rather than its own. So you definitely want to consider this if it's going to be a rental in the future. The layout's going to be limited because the existing garage footprint is only going to allow for so much design flexibility. And sometimes that'll feel cramped if you don't have that good design. The sound transfer, the shared walls might cause some friction depending on the use and the insulation. And then losing garage space may affect your storage or parking. So especially in areas like colder climates, you may not want to lose a space to store your vehicle. It also may require creative solutions to meet natural light and ventilation codes. So to wrap it up, building an ADU for your aging parent can be one of the most meaningful decisions you make. It gives them independence, brings peace of mind, and adds long-term value to your home. Just make sure to plan ahead financially, logistically, and emotionally so that it truly works for everyone involved. I hope you learned something from today's video. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you want to help support my mission to advocate for tiny homes and ADUs, give the video a like, share it with a friend. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on exciting stuff. And if you have any thoughts, please leave those in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you've got your own ADU story to share, I've got a way to get in touch with me in the description. And don't forget to check out rearon.com for tips, resources, and real-world stories. Check out the next video that I picked just for you right here.